Chapter 13, Lesson 3 and 4. Lesson 3 has to do with estimating the products. Lesson 4, we're just going to go back to multiplying numbers with decimals and moving the decimal to get our answer. So let's start with Lesson 3. So we have here 4.91 times 17. We want to estimate these numbers first, then multiply them to come up with an easier answer, instead of multiplying these two numbers together. Now I'm going to tell them to think of money. 4.91. What does that round off to? What is that closest to? $4 or $5? And of course the answer is 5. And we have 17. Is that closer to $17 or $20? And of course the answer is 20. So then we take our 20 and our 5. And we get 100. So that's what they're doing, is estimating the two numbers and multiplying, then multiply them to get our answer. The next one we have is 765 times 1.9. We want to try to round it off to 700 or 800, not to 760 or 750, to make it easier. So we round this 765 to 800. And 1.9, I tell them, think of this as $1.90. Even though you don't see the zero, think of it as $1.90. Is that closer to $1 or $2? And of course it would be 2. So then we take the 800 times 2. 2 times 0 is 0. 2 times 0 is 0. And 2 times 8 is 16. So your answer would be 1,600. If it's not a double-digit number, like 22 or 15, then we can go ahead and keep it the same. For example, 9 times 0.121. We're going to round off the 0.121 to just 0.1. The 9 we're going to leave the same. We don't move it up to 9, we'll drop it down to 5. Or I'm sorry, move it up to 10 or drop it to 5. We're just going to leave it as 9. And we got one place here, so it would just be 0.9. So numbers between 1 and 9 we'll just go ahead and leave the same. It's when they're possibly 11 and up. So between 1 and 10 we'll just keep them the same. Once you get to 11, then you would round off 11 to 10. Once you get to 14, round that off to 10. You get to 15, then you would round it up to 20. So here we have 28 times 11.88. 28, we're talking about money, is closest to 30. And 1188 is closest to 12. So we would multiply 30 times 12. And we get 360. So here's their homework. Let's try number 3. 4 times 2.89. 4 would stay the same. The 2.89 round off to 3. So the answer would just be 12. Figure if you have $2.89 and there's 4 things you want to buy that cost that much, it costs around $12. Let's look at number 5. 9.87 times 12. For this one, you'd probably want to switch this one to 10. And this one you can switch to 10. And 10 times 10 is 100. And let's try one more. Let's try number 7. Got 4.46 times 3. 446 is closest to 4, and 3 would be 12. This one could also have been rounded off to 450 if we're thinking of money. Times it by 3, and we get 1350, or 13.5. So either way, I'll accept. On their test, it shouldn't be too difficult, where they find the answer they get should be one of the answer choices they have. So let's go ahead and look at Lesson 4. Lesson 4, we're back to just multiplying decimals. We've got 0.7 times 0.56. Like I've told the class, put it in a way you can do it. And if you have a 0 in front of the number, then you really don't need to worry about them. Just get rid of them. Seven times 6 is 42. Carry the 4. 7 times 5 is 35, plus 4 is 39. We got 2 places here and 1 place there. So we have 2 numbers behind the decimal, 2 places. We have 1 number behind the decimal, that's another place, so there's a total of 3 places. So we always start off on this far side. There's always a decimal behind the whole number, you just don't see it. And then we go 3 places to the left. 3. So your answer would be 3 or 0.392. I use this as an example in class. There's a song by Beyonce. In the beginning, it says to the left. So I played it in class a little bit. So hopefully when the kids are doing these problems, they'll have this song in their head.
To the left, to the left. To the left, to the left. To the left, to the left.
Here we have 0.89 times 0.2. Again, I'm going to get rid of my zeros and rewrite the problem down here. And a lot of times the multiplication is fine, but they put the decimal in the wrong place. So 9 times 2 is 18. Carry the 1. 8 times 2 is 16. Plus 1 is 17. I got 2 places here. 1, 2. And I have 1 place here. So that's a total of 3 spaces. So I start on the right and I go 3 places to the left. So your answer would be 1.78. And it's hard to, hopefully the kids will read the directions, because sometimes it'll say what's the best estimate, other times it'll just have a problem like this. So let's look at some of their homework problems. So as we got number 3, we got 0.32 times 0.5. Again, I'm going to get rid of these decimals and just go 0.32 times 0.5. 5 times 2 is 10. Carry my 1. 5 times 3 is 15. Plus 1 is 16. And let's see, I've got 2 places here. I've got 1 place there for a total of 3 places. So I go 3 places to my left. 1, 2, 3. And my answer would be 0.160. Again, this is number 3. Take a look at number 5. 1.25 times 4.7. 7 times 5 is 35. 7 times 2 is 14, plus 3 is 17. 7 times 1 is 7, plus 1 is 8. Put my 0. 4 times 5 is 20. 4 times 2 is 8, plus 2 is 10. And 4 plus times 1 is 4, plus 1 is 5. So I have 5,875. I got to make sure I go back, count my decimal places. Here I got 2 spaces. Here I've got 1. Got 1, 2, and 1. So total of 3. 3 places to my left. 1, 2, 3. So the answer for number 5 would be 5.392. 0.875. Key to this lesson is to make sure that they go at a slow pace, that they do the multiplication correctly, and that they put the decimal in the right place. On their test, this decimal could be anywhere, and if they put it in the wrong place, more than likely there's going to be an answer for it. So they got to make sure they're counting their decimals, singing to themselves if they have to, in order to get the right answer.